my Paint Pal channel. I am Heather Green. This is a tutorial mixed with a product review. I don't do a ton of product reviews because truthfully what I do is before I sell any product here at Silly Farm, I always test it. So you know if I sell it, it's something I believe in and I love and I would use myself because I do not like to carry things that I don't believe in. But this particular product has a lot of chatter going on about it. It's a product I use myself. It's a product I love, so I wanted to share with you guys a quick tutorial on how to do a peacock feather and incorporate that into a design. But in addition to that, explain the differences between the practice boards, show you the different sizes, because it's hard to gauge size on the internet, and just kind of explain a little bit about them. So thanks for tuning in. As always, follow me on social media. I love hearing from you guys. Nothing brings me more pleasure than tweeting, sharing, posting, reposting your pictures. So as always, connect with me. That's what it's all about. A couple of months ago, Cameron Garrett stopped by the Faba TV studio and she was using a practice board, and I had seen them before but never really seen them in person or touched them, and I got a chance to play with them and I fell in love. So I wanted to share this product with you, explain the differences, and hopefully answer any questions that you might have about them. They are available at sillyfarm.com, so if you fall in love like I did, make sure you log in, check them out, and you can buy them at any time. So these awesome training, tried and tested boards were created by Sally Ann Lynch, and I find it super helpful to use it while I'm teaching. So this is the large board. As you can tell, in relation to myself, I'm about 5 feet tall, so this is pretty long. It's like longer than the size of my arm. So I will put it up here for you. So as you can see, this is quite a big board. The reason it's so excellent to use while you're taking classes or while you're teaching classes is because you can create step-by-steps without having to erase them. You can also create multiple faces. So if you're watching a Faba TV live class and you love the design and you paint it and you practice, you don't have to wipe it off right away. You can leave it on there so that you can remember, take pictures of it, and just move on to the next one. So it's really a great practical idea. It's also made out of this really great material. It's textured on one side and it tells you what size to paint on. It says paint this side, makes it easy for you. And it washes off so smooth. When I do the demo, you're gonna see what I mean by that. But it paints really smooth. The paint doesn't beat up. It doesn't kind of like run off. It's a really good texture to paint on. And another cool part, as you can see, is that when they design these faces, they're almost like true to life in terms of size, in terms of where the eyebrow and the hairline connect and where the eye is in relation to the eyebrow. Very good, accurate tool for you to practice on. Also very easy to travel with. It comes in the 4 sizes. That is the woman's face. There's also a maternity. So this is going to show you the belly right inside here. There's also just the eyes. So if you are like me and we practice all these eye designs, this is a great one. I believe it comes with, 8 eyes on one board, but it's, again, a beautiful size. There's also a smaller size, okay? So this one is going to be 2 faces, and this is a really practical size. There's also arms, an arm to practice all those tattoos on, in addition to 3 faces. So you're gonna have a really good variety to choose from. Then this one is my favorite. It's the children's faces. And it's pretty much true to size as well, just larger eyes in a different face shape. But I love the cartoon face on it. Again, this one to be able to practice with. So you have lots of different varieties. I really like the multiple faces only because then you don't have to erase it every time that you're going to go into a new design. You can kind of leave it there, practice it, look it over before you have to. Because sometimes we forget to take a picture. This is a great product. I love using it. And let me show you how I use it. In my live class on Faba TV, I hope you guys tuned in and enjoyed, I did a peacock design. I used a peacock feather on a mask, and I just filmed it super fast, silly quickie. That will be up on our Paint Pal channel very soon on how to create these. So I'm going to break it down for you in steps on this board, show you how I paint on it and how I remove it, just so that you can have a glimpse. So I picked up my Arty Brush Large. This is my favorite 3/4 flat brush. I designed this brush so that it has a nice tip on it. You get that point, so you can see how it tapers off. Then you're going to pick up an Arty cake. This one is called Mermaid. It has a little bit of golds and blues in it, but you can use any Arty cake you want. So this technique, this peacock feather, was actually taught to me by Rebecca of Arty Brush Cakes. She's the one who created these Arty cakes, and I still use all of her techniques and ideas today. She really helped me fall in love with these. So I loaded up my brush, and you want to make sure that the bristles are at least 3/4 inch loaded. I like to create a V, and the reason that I do that is so that it helps me with focal point and with direction and with making the design as small as it needs to be, because that V is going to guide how big and wide your strokes are. So if I'm going to do an eye design, then I will start in the corner, press, and bring my stroke all the way up. And then here's where the V comes in. I just tap my brush to make a V shape, and I'll make one here as well. So once you have the V's, you know how wide the base of your peacock feather is going to be. So once I have my V, I take my bristles and I line them up against the color. So the gold was the last color, so I make sure that my gold is at the tip. I line up my brush, I press, and I drag it in a circular motion. Okay, so I make this little loop. Then I'll do the same thing up there. Press along and make this little loop. Then I'm going to flip my brush around, and I'm going to make another V right on top. Now the reason that you flip your brush around is because you're going to line up your brush on the V again, and you're making sure that the colors line up, but you want the gold to overlap on the gold. So when we create that stroke, they overlap and they meet up seamlessly. This is what I mean. So I line my brush up, lay it down on that line again, come down, press, come to the tip on a point, press, and bring it up again. So you see what ends up happening is that the colors overlap. You have to flip it or those colors are not going to overlap. So again, I'll follow that same pattern here. Line up my brush. Finish. Now if you want to create the kind of wispy edges of your peacock, then you're just going to flip it again so that the darker color matches up with the outline. And I like to start from the tip, and I just kind of fan in those edges. And so now I have these beautiful peacock feathers. Pick up my brush, little bit of black paint, make sure it's loaded well, and I would just start creating. Well, the first thing that you want to do is you want to create almost like this Pac-Man shape in the middle of your peacock feather. So when I say Pac-Man, it just looks like the little Pac-Man but in black. So you're leaving that little triangle area, and you can add a little dot in there as well for the peacock feather. I would just create my scroll work. And with scroll work, you want to make sure that you're keeping it nice and thin, working on the tip of your brush. Always, as always, you can add some teardrops in there. And you can also add a little bit more of a outline and definition to your peacock feather. So if I wanted to just trace out and embellish the hairs, I totally could on my peacock. More of a highlight, just pick up some white paint, kind of just go right over that little Pac-Man right inside of there, and some dots right along your harsher lines. Add a little bit of a highlight on your white if you want to. This time I picked up this is the Slice Arty Cake, And all I'll do, instead of coming from the eye this time, I'm going to come from kind of the temples, and I'll just twist and maybe underneath the eye as well. So again, I'm going to just make my little V just like that so that I can fit my peacock feather in there, and then one in there as well. Then I made my V's. I'm going to make that loop just like that, and a loop just like that. Then you flip your brush and make a second V on top of it. Line your brush up, press, and you can start from the bottom and press as well. And line it up again, and just kind of wisp out those edges. And so again, just kind of feathered them out. Picking up my black paint again, create my little Pac-Man inside. Just like that. And it's coming together, and like I told you, you can add your little teardrops right inside of there. Make some scrolling swirls right along the edges and in there as well. And you can just like that, the way in. Just kind of use that tip just like that. Using a little bit of white, just go in there, embellish, add your dots as you see fit, wherever you think you need it. And here you go. You have two beautiful peacock designs. Now to clean up. So you can use a regular baby wipe. They clean up super awesome. What I like to do is use my spray brush bath, or you can use regular brush bath, so that you can just use a dry paper towel. That way you don't have to use all your baby wipes. Sometimes they're expensive. So all I would do, just spray it right on there, and just take my paper towel or your baby wipe, and look. And just like that, it's totally clean again and ready for you. There's no staining, even though I used Wolf Black. You don't have to worry about that. That part is incredibly awesome. And it's so durable and high quality. It is printed on the back side. So it says paint on this side, but it's printed on this side. Even if you mess up and you paint on this side, it's still gonna come right off. The reason that they recommend to paint on this side is because it's textured, so it just holds on and grips onto your brush a little bit more. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial slash product review. Thank you as always for tuning in. If you have questions, if you have concerns, if you have comments, I love to hear from you. Connect with me on social media, and I hope everybody is doing great. Happy painting, guys. If you enjoy my tutorials, subscribe to my channel and check me out on Faba TV. I have loads of classes on there, full classes, where if you like my peacock, you can learn hours of peacocks with me. Not just that topic, but several. So definitely check me out on Faba TV. Everybody, hope you're doing great.